Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is tracking for a $200 million bow. That is the headline on today's Force Friday show. And guys, this one is coming in from Forbes, who are a trusted source when it comes to all things box office related in the world of Hollywood and the greater entertainment industry as a whole. I go to these guys all the time for tracking numbers and for performances of big blockbuster movies akin to the likes of Endgame, obviously at the start of the year, and a whole array of other movies, the likes of The Lion King and whatnot, which were monstrous successes. And they are saying that obviously the J.J. Abrams helmed end of saga's Star Wars movie, if I can speak, is tracking for a $200 million domestic bow. And when of course they say domestic, they are referring to the USA and Canada, North America. And this is slightly lacklustre in a sort of franchise setting where obviously you have, Disney franchise, where you have The Force Awakens opening up. I have the facts and figures in front of me with a rather colossal, I want to say $247.9 million. Now that was, I think, at one point the biggest opening in the United States. And then obviously behind that you have The Last Jedi from 2017 with $220 million. Now, in the grand scheme of things, a $200 million bow would be a phenomenal start for a movie. Any other movie, it would be wonderful. It would slide it in comfortably into that top 10 of the all-time greatest openings in the United States and Canada. It would be above The Lion King from this year, which has of course grossed $1 billion with absolute ease. It would be neck and neck with Black Panther, which was obviously presumed to be a monstrous success at the box office. So I don't think this is a sign of failure for the Rise of Skywalker. Like some people in certain circles are trumpeting to the world, they want to have us think this is the end of times for Star Wars. I don't think it is. It's a very big opening, and look, it can still fluctuate north or south, I do admit. It could open lower than $200 million, which seems unlikely, but subsequently it could also open higher than $200 million as well. And it's just a very strong start for the saga, defining the culmination of 40 years of stories in the Star Wars Skywalker saga. I'm not really up nor down about it. I don't really care about how this movie performs in terms of raw money. It's been ever diminishing returns from Star Wars and Disney. Obviously, as I did say, it started hugely, $2 billion plus with The Force Awakens. Dipped down a little with Rogue One, but then it was just troubled with reshoots, and Gareth Edwards obviously having to, I want to say it was Tony Gilroy came in and reshot a large chunk of that movie, so that was a troubled movie, but one of my all-time favourites in actual fact in terms of Star Wars, probably my favourite from Disney to date. And then it was just a disaster for The Last Jedi in terms of legs. Opened very strongly. A lot of these blockbuster movies do become front-loaded. They start and open very big and then they taper off. And that was certainly the case with The Last Jedi. And I think that was purely down to a pure word of mouth. People just heard what had happened to the Luke Skywalker character. They heard about the slowest space chase in the history of cinema. They heard about Canto Bite and anti-animal cruelty. Obviously adverts, and they just heard about a purple-rinsed woman stuffing a finger in the face of the great Poe Dameron, and they were put off for subsequent viewings. I only seen the movie twice. I've seen The Force Awakens a lot more, and yeah, that wasn't very good. But this movie, is it going to be akin to The Force Awakens or more like The Last Jedi? I suppose time will truly tell on that note. JJ is coming back, and they do say in this Forbes article that word of mouth will be paramount for this movie's success ultimately. If it gets good word of mouth, a good buzz, the sky's the limit. I will say that I do think it will gross $1 billion plus, though I'd be absolutely stunned if it doesn't hit $1 billion. They say it's opening, I believe, the same day in China, which they're saying is a positive. It could propulse it to, propulse, I want to say that's the right word, I don't think it is, but it could catapult, is a word, it to $400 million in its opening weekend. Now, I don't see that being the case. I think China's been viewing these movies quite lacklusterly over the last 5 years. They're not really connecting with it. They never grew up with the original Star Wars. and I just don't think it will do well over there again. I think it will flop hard. They tried to force in some identity politics with obviously Rose Tico and her sister, and it never connected. I think it came out of the box office over there within a week, I want to say. And yeah, I don't view that as a massive sign of positivity, opening the same day in China. But overall, I do think the movie will start strong, and it will have middling legs, and it will probably outdo The Last Jedi. I'm going to predict $1.5 billion, or round about that mark. I don't think it will hit $2 billion, but I will add in the caveat, finally, that if it does have good word of mouth, if JJ has hit the ball out the park, and he has handled Leia correctly and Lando correctly, maybe even gave Luke Skywalker a great send-off over and above what we got in The Last Jedi. Depending on who you are, you may love it, some may hate it. I actually didn't mind it, but if he does handle them correctly, then there's a chance the movie could gross closer to $2 billion. I find it unlikely though. And I'm going to move on that note, because I've not got much more to add to a movie which is still a month away in terms of box office numbers. The next topic is all about The Mandalorian, and it's coming from Hollywood Reporter, and they are saying one of the greatest mysteries of Star Wars. Now, this is coming from the Cara Dune character who made an appearance in the 4th episode, which I haven't seen yet. I am obviously from the United Kingdom. I shouldn't be seeing this at all, but I have my ways. And yeah, I will see it probably tonight at some point. Haven't seen it yet. This Gina Carano character was introduced, a strong female character, some would say fierce female character, and she has interacted with the Mandalorian. She's kicked his ass apparently, so that'll keep some of those social justice warriors out there happy who were bitching off about the Mandalorian's success, saying that those disenfranchised male fans who were hating on The Last Jedi and whatnot were only enjoying this TV show because it featured a powerful male character at the fore. Something that I would disagree with, something that I will get into in this topic. It's completely wrong. But what they're saying, the general gist of this very long article from the Hollywood Reporter, is that he interacts with this character. She's a quite complicated character. She does kick the shit out of him initially, but then she reveals layers to her personality. Apparently she is coming back for the 2nd season. She has confirmed it, Carano. But yeah, she reveals what the political and economic landscape, I want to say, or just what the landscape's like post Return of the Jedi. And this is why they're saying one of the great mysteries, what happened after the Empire crumbled at the end of the events of the original trilogy. What transpired during this power vacuum after the Emperor lost his life, or did he? We will find out if he, that sneaky git, managed to avoid death just like his master Plagueis the Wise. And she just reveals some interesting things about what's been going on within this vacuum by all accounts. Very interesting character, as I did say. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the episode. I really can't wait to see it now. I thought the 3rd episode was the best of the bunch. Baby Yoda's been a continual figure throughout it all, and that's always a positive, which I'll get into shortly as well in my next topic, with discussing him. And yeah, I'm intrigued to hear what they're saying about this, perhaps revealing what's been going on in terms of power struggles and whatnot. She's apparently a soldier character who is without a war to fight now, and this is leaving her in a kind of a discombobulated state. She doesn't know whether she's coming or going or whatnot. So I can't wait to see her interact, can't wait to see her kick the shit out of Mandalorian again, and I will get into it now. These people who have been criticising other fans' enjoyment of this show because it's a strong male character, well, I don't think he's that strong. He can handle himself, he's a very cool guy, and he has some tricks up his sleeve and whatnot, literally, in that 3rd episode. But he has had his arse handed to him umpteen times in this TV show already. He had the shit kicked out of him with that rhinoceros space rhino character. He was tricked and hoodwinked by the Jawas, shocked, fell off the crawler. I'm trying to remember the 1st episode if he had the shit kicked out of him in that. I don't believe he did, but certainly he is not impervious to getting the shit kicked out of him. He is a relatable guy who has had struggles in his previous life, has struggles in his current life, and yeah, he's just a relatable character who has some flaws, and he has faced some adversity. So I don't agree that he is an all-powerful male character and the male-obsessed fans are clutching their claws into it and whooping with hysteria because it's not rare, it's not Jen Urso. Incidentally, I love Jen Urso and I really like Felicity Jones as an actress, and I don't mind Rey. I just wish she would face some adversity, maybe some limb dismemberment at some point, because God knows Anakin had to face it, and Luke had to face it, and Vader obviously faced it as well. So it's just a recurring theme for the heroic and not so heroic characters at any point in the arc, if you like. But yeah, not got much more to add to it. Very short and sweet topic. Again, just hinting at the development of this TV show. We are seeing a larger scope in this. A lot of people have referred to it as a Star Wars sitcom. In a way, it's quite cramped in this little town. He's now moved off to pastures now. He's met a very interesting character who's revealing what's happening post-Empire. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. And it is incidentally Bryce Dallas Howard who directed it, of course, the great Ron Howard's daughter. So that'll be interesting to see how she tackles her first sort of like toe-dipping experience into directing live action. Whether she can do a better job, I should say. I'm flinging some slang in there, than Dave Filoni. But look, guys, I'll move on to the next topic. This one's interconnected with The Mandalorian. It is all about Baby Yoda, and it's coming from The Telegraph, a well-known right-wing media outlet over here, or just newspaper if you like, and they're talking about the cult of Baby Yoda. The cult of Baby Yoda. What are they getting on about? Has the Disneyfication of Star Wars gone too far? Well, no, it has not. Now, I can't actually read the whole article because they have got it a lot behind a subscriber's paywall. I'm not subscribing to The Telegraph. I would rather vomit and drink it, and you know, because I'm not right-wing at all. I think I've revealed that before. But essentially what they're saying is Ewoks, Porgs and now Baby Yoda. Cuteness has always been a part of Star Wars, but under Disney it's been weaponised, reports Ed Power. He says bundles of joy don't come any more irresistible than Disney's latest cutesy sensation, Brussels sprouts green and cooing like a sleepy puppy. And he then goes on to say that essentially they are weaponising it, much like they weaponise Frozen 2 and Toy Story, much less Mickey, Donald and Goofy. Now, I don't agree with this at all. Star Wars has always been synonymous with merchandising and trying to get money out of young kids and adults alike. They've done it for absolute decades now. We've seen it in the original trilogy with those Stormtrooper suits. Chewie, we've seen it with obviously the X-Wing fighters, the Millennium Falcon. It's a real ripe sort of a mining ground for merchandising. They've got such a rich, illustrious history with characters and whatnot, Boba Fett and weapons. So this is something George Lucas, that is, rightly recognised, way ahead of all of his peers. He recognised that you can merchandise, you can make a whole lot more money than you would just promoting your movie to regular movie-going audience members. You can get sizable benefits and rewards from selling loads upon loads of toys, and Disney have been doing it for decades as well, and they're continuing it on now that they have Star Wars, and rightly so. They spent a lot of money acquiring the rights to Star Wars, and they want to sell as much as they can. And now another reason I don't agree with this is because if you have been watching The Mandalorian, if you have been keeping a pace with this TV show and Disney's handling of merchandise, you will know that Disney were not on the Baby Yoda bus at all. They didn't realise it was going to be such a widespread success. They had no toys. It took them a week, maybe two, to procure some t-shirts for this cute little guy, and yeah, they've not been purposely weaponising this great little character at all. It's just been something that's happened organically, and we've all got on board that Baby Yoda train. I for one love him. I loved Yoda himself. I even loved Yaddle, although not that CG or that wonky-eyed puppet version in the Phantom Menace. But yeah, I love the Baby Yoda character. I love what he symbolises in this TV show for The Mandalorian. We've had a little brief glimpses at the guy's past, some foreshadowing of obviously what the Trade Federation had done to his parents. They were ready to kill him. We've not yet had closure, from what I've seen, as to how he was saved from being shot by that battle droid. And yet, I think he just sees Baby Yoda in himself, or himself in Baby Yoda, I should say. This little orphaned guy who has no friends to protect him, no familial bonds. He sees himself in him, and he is almost lifted out of this stupor of being a selfish, egotistical bounty hunter and he realises there's more to life, more to the world through this character, and he seems to lift him out of a stupor, and he's going off in a different direction. Haven't seen episode 4, I may be completely wrong, I may blow his little brains out, and I'm talking absolute shite here, and if I do, and I am, I apologise wholeheartedly, but yeah, I don't agree at all. It's just part of the game now, modern day cinema, big franchise movies, they have ready-made merchandise and toys and whatnot, and it's all part of the game. I love the Ewoks, I love the Porgs to a lesser extent, and I love Baby Yoda tremendously, and I'm going to move on that note to the next topic, and we're going back to the Rise of Skywalker, and this one's coming from Digital Spy, and they are saying that Rise of Skywalker director, they could have just have said J.J. Abrams, it would have been much easier for them. It reveals why he brought the Knights of Ren back, and he says that, in summary, episode 8, The Last Jedi, didn't address them at all, and he's quite right. Rian Johnson didn't address a lot of the arcs which were left open, a little bit ambiguous if you like, at the end of The Force Awakens. Further though, he goes on to say that it didn't address them at all, and it just allowed for us to bring them back in. They are best kept, more mysterious than familiar, I agree, which is just to say that there aren't going to be a lot of scenes with them taking their masks off and hanging out and eating sandwiches, but I felt that I definitely wanted to see more of them than we had. Well, I should think so, JJ, because they have only been in one flash force, flashback, flash forward sequence. So yeah, I want to see more of them, JJ. You set them up as a little tease, you little teasing shit, and you've not gave us them again since then. So yeah, I want to see a lot of the Knights of Ren in this movie. I want to see them utilising their full array of powers, how they interconnect in with obviously Kylo Ren, how they interconnect into the power balance between Kylo and obviously these now appearing Sheev Palpatine. I can't wait to see where they've been. There's some mysteriousness around where they have been in the events of the previous two movies. Can't wait to see what they can do. I can't wait to see them visually. And yeah, I think he's right though, in what he says about an air of mysteriousness being something which is obviously something you'd like to see in Star Wars. I feel like it's something we could have got with Kylo in the first two sequel trilogy movies. I feel he took his helmet off way too soon, and it took some mysteriousness away from him. And it's something we've seen done with obviously Han prior to Solo. He had a mysterious past, a checkered history, which was slightly alluded to, but it just added to that character exponentially, and it's something we've seen with obviously Yoda's species as well in Star Wars. We still don't know who they are, what their name is, where they come from, and I think that's something that's positive. We've seen it with Boba Fett as well, prior to obviously the prequel trilogy, and mysteriousness is always a good thing. I don't like to lift it too much and give too much away. It's not positive for Star Wars. It's not positive for the fan base to know every little minutiae of the characters. But yeah, I want to see him lift some of that mysteriousness, so I am slightly contradicting myself. I want to see these characters come in. I hope they can handle themselves well. I hope they're not like the Jedi at the end of the Revenge of the Sith, who go with Mace Windu to confront Palpatine and are subsequently cut down in about 2 seconds. I want to see them hold their own and fight maybe Poe and Finn, maybe even Rey. Are they Force sensitive? Lord knows, we don't know a damn thing about these characters. Is Matt Smith one of them? How are they going to just fit in? I've got so much questions, and hopefully they will be answered come December 19th, because Lord knows I'm left wanting here badly. And yeah, look, I'm not going to say much more on it. I'm keeping the topic short and succinct here because I'm on my lonesome, and it doesn't do well to over babble away, because I've got a great propensity for it. I can talk the hind legs off of 4 walls when I'm on my Todd, as they say in Scotland. And I'm going to move on that note, because I'm doing it now, to the 5th topic I want to say, and this is all about the Ewoks. This will be very short indeed. They say that new Star Wars video teases Return of Ewoks in the Rise of Skywalker. It's coming from NME, incidentally. I've seen this trailer. It was a little TV spot, and we do... I think they're being a little bit facetious by saying that it's teasing the return of the Ewoks. It is not teasing the return of the Ewoks. God damn you, NME. It is merely showing us a breakdown of the events of the Rise, the Skywalker saga over the 3 trilogies. It's showing us little images of the past. We get the Duel of Fates music playing over the top, if it's the same trailer I'm thinking about. And it's just alluding to what JJ has been saying for about 2 years now, where he says that he will try and interconnect obviously the Skywalker saga as a whole, elements of the prequel trilogies, elements of the original trilogy into the sequel trilogy, and give us how can I put it, an enjoyable and fitting conclusion to the saga. Now, would I like to see the Ewoks coming back? That is a completely different question. I think the fact that our gang of heroes, motley gang, are going back to Endor, or the moon planet of Endor, still not established whether that is the moon planet or Endor itself. I think it would be slightly jarring to not have the Ewoks in there. I think that's something that's necessary. And perhaps Wicked's still alive. Maybe they're very long living. I don't know the longevity of an Ewok. But if he's still alive, it'd be cool to see Warwick Davis playing him. And even if he isn't alive, playing another Ewok, because we all love Warwick and I want to see him back. But yeah, I don't think this is hinting that the Ewoks are indeed coming back. I think it's just promotional push for the movie. And them revealing that, look, we are going to have a culmination of the Skywalker saga. We heard, obviously, Mark Hamill say it in the first trailer for the movie, that every era has a legend. And yeah, I don't think they're hinting at it. I don't think it's 100% confirmed we're going to have Wicket and the gang back. I don't know how it would fit in organically either. But I would like to see them come back. I would like to see it happen, if it can be done. And it would perhaps shut up all of those haters about the original trilogy. If we can see some Ewoks doing their thing, baring their teeth, maybe chewing away on General Hux's leg or arms, I don't know, it'd be very cool. But look, I've not got much more to add. I says it would be short and sweet. And I'm going to move on to the final topic of today's Force Friday show. You'll be glad to hear if you're watching, because I'm having a mare here, I would like to say, but you may disagree. To the final topic, which is the Rise of Skywalker earns exclusive Real D 3D poster. Now, it's been very quiet over the last few days about Star Wars. I had very few options in front of me in terms of topics to speak about. The main headline is about a dying chap going with his son to see the Rise of Skywalker early. I didn't want to speak about that. It's macabre. It's lowering the tone. I want to keep the happiness and things light and airy on this show, and yeah, that's why I'm plumbing to this depth, talking about a poster. But yeah, look, I'll end the show on the note. It's short and sweet. They have revealed a poster. It's for Real 3D, and it does bear a striking resemblance to these two magnificent posters I have over my shoulder here. It's like an amalgamation of the two, and they do say that it has a striking resemblance to the original poster for A New Hope back in 1977. And yeah, it does share some similarities, but overall I feel like it's not a great poster, is it? Let's be honest. I mean, they've just flung in Kylo Ren's badly repaired helmet in the background. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's poorly edited in. I mean, I could have probably done a better job in Photoshop myself. I'm not too bad in that programme. But it's okay. I mean, I suppose it shows you what's going on in the saga, or what's going on in this movie. We have Poe, Finn and Rey in there. We have the character who likes to ride space horses in there. R2, C-3PO. Also we have Rose Tico in the corner, and we have a fleet, an armada of Star Destroyers and the Millennium Falcon, and that nifty looking little orange X-Wing as well. But yeah, I'm going to quickly dissect it before I finish the show. I'm acutely aware that I have about 5 minutes left, so I'll try not to sit too long on it. But one thing that does strike me about this poster is the jarring absence of one Chief Palpatine. Now, he was front and centre of the promotional push for about 2 months. As we get closer to this movie, he seems to have disappeared into a puff of smoke, and I do hope that Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and JJ are not trying to pull a fly one on us Star Wars fans by putting Ian McDiarmid out on the stage at, obviously, Star Wars Celebration, giving us him in posters, giving us him in a trailer to a lesser extent, and then pulling a fly one and not revealing him at all in the movie, that he's just an error real form, or he's just like a voice. That'd be god awful. It'd be false advertising, and I would want my money back. If we are getting Chief in the promotion early on, then I expect him in the movie. So that's one thing he's missing. And in his place is also Kylo Ren, revealing perhaps that he is all evil and he's not coming back to be redeemed. That would be disappointing. I want to see Ben Solo coming back very much redeemed, even though he is a shit and he did kill Han. Han wanted it. But the other thing that I would point out is perhaps Poe Dameron. is sitting to the right of the heroic central figure that is Rey. Obviously in that original one it is Luke himself. Now in this one behind me, it's obviously Han Solo, it's to the right, and Leia is to the left. But in the original 1977 A New Hope poster, which they say it's perhaps mining out of in terms of inspiration, it's of course Leia who is to the right. Now, could we be hinting that, first of all, Poe is indeed the new leader of the Resistance? Obviously Leia was the quasi-leader of the rebellion in the original trilogy. I know Mon Mothma was hanging around in the shadows, but it was Leia, Princess Leia, who was the leader. So maybe we're hinting that he is the leader finally of the Resistance. She semi-passed the baton off in the Last Jedi. So that's cool. That may be hinting at that. It may be hinting that if it is indeed following that sort of a similar vein, then is obviously Finn the Han Solo of this trilogy. Finally, is he stepping into it? I know he has a pinstripe, has a similar get-up to Han Solo in The Empire Strikes Back. Lord knows, the other way you could take this arrangement is that perhaps Poe is more feminine. He's in touch with his feminine side. He's more like Leia. And perhaps he's going to hook up with Finn. Because I know a lot of the fan base want to see Reylo and they want to see Finn and Poe getting it on. So, Lord knows, man, there's a whole wide array of possibilities in there. You can take from it what you want. It's an okay looking poster. It's nothing special. It's not going to get me into a theatre to watch the movie any more than if it had been some random conglomeration, if that's the correct word, of just, I don't know, random B characters who sit in the shadows. I'm going to go and watch this movie irregardless of posters, irregardless of TV spots and trailers. They've got me in, and I hope I'm very happy come December 19th, or whenever I go to see it. It's usually the weekend for me. But look guys, I'm going to round the show up on that note. I am way out of time. I may have to re-record the ending if I have not timed it correctly. What do you make about the Rise of Skywalker tracking at $200 million in terms of openings? Is that disappointing, exciting? What do you make of it? What do you make about the Mandalorian Episode 4 character, obviously Cara Dune, and what she brings to the table, exploring the vacuum of power after the Empire fell? What do you make about the cult of Baby Yoda? Disney weaponising merchandise, don't know what that even means, and the array of other topics I spoke about. If you have anything to say at all, you can comment below and let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it. If you absolutely hated it and it makes you want to vomit, you think it's vile, you can dislike the video as well. It'll not break my ecky breaky heart. I have got thick skin. And you can also subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying content like this. And I'll be back with Stephen again on Monday with MBE Movie News.